Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Libra March 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing off is, well, as far as March goes, the Sun will be in Pisces from the 1st until the 20th. So the 6 houses will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra might be use a lot of concentration of power, attention, and focus into idealism, compassion, altruism, into service-related matters. It could be matters pertaining to employees and their work and even their pets, perhaps. And it could be where a lot of energy might be going into dealing with chaos and confounding, confusing situations, perhaps in their employment, and dealing with maybe even confusing health-related matters as well at this time, and in chaos perhaps in one's daily routine. So anyway, also when you're talking about the Sun and a house, it's about often the Sun will shine that light, so to speak, on matters pertaining to the house involved. So it could shine some light perhaps on maybe what may be a nebulous or very unclear health-related issue at this time. So anyway, next thing up is, as far as March goes, the Sun will be in Aries from the 20th until the 31st, so the 7th houses will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, there could be a lot of concentration of power, attention, and focus put into assertiveness, fortitude, courage, aggression in matters connected with relationships, even legal matters in some cases, court situations, and even open adversaries in some situations. This could be where Libra might be showing maybe a little bit more courageous side and more aggressive side in these matters. This could also be about perhaps shining light, so to speak, on an open adversary or somebody that may be interested in you. It could be in some cases could be an Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in some instances, or somebody that simply may embody those Aries-like characteristics. So anyway, and it could also be about putting a lot of energy, perhaps, in a lot of really, I mean, being an Aries, really it may be an abundance of this energy into documents and negotiations as well at this time. But remember that Aries energy can sometimes be very combative and confrontational, and you might feel, at this time, there might be a lot more energy into really being more combative in your relationships and even in business partnership situations than usual. Anyway, next thing up is the full moon will be in Virgo on March 1st. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, well, this could be a time where Libra might become somewhat tired or full, so to speak, of maybe somebody that's figures prominently in their private life that might be very pedantic, judgmental, hypercritical, and really has become enough of this person. It could be too in some cases where a hidden adversary might be unveiled and might emerge at this time. The full moon can often be about revelations and unveilings, and it could be the unveiling or revelation of a Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Virgo, or somebody that simply embodies Virgo-like characteristics. This could also be the time perhaps of a culmination or conclusion of a project that you might have done in solitude and seclusion that might have required a lot of analysis, and it was something that was really very analytical, something very detail-oriented, or it could have been something that you just did a lot of like Virgo-like laborious work on, so to speak, in private and in seclusion, or something that where you work very hard and laboriously in connection with those less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the homeless, and the oppressed, and that you did really with a lot of that Virgo industry and might come to a completion at this time. So anyway, Next thing up is the new moon will be in Pisces on March 17th. So the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, this could be perhaps the beginning of say a new work-related endeavor that may be Pisces related. It could be something where that might be connected with the metaphysical, which can include astrology, some kind of spiritual work. It could be something too that might, oceanography, chemistry, photography, even something with dancing or poetry. It could be something that you may embark on at this time, work related, that can be Pisces. Like it could sometimes be a new pet in some situations that you really show a lot of compassion to and a lot of self-sacrifice. Now, in some cases too, I think this could also be about a new health-related issue that might emerge at this time that may be Pisces related. It could be something connected with the feet, the toes, or the lymphatic system. So anyway, and also too, it could be a new period where maybe you'd start doing some kind of service for others where you show a lot of that Pisces like self-sacrifice and compassion and that altruism again. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Pisces from March, as far as March goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. At this time for Libra, well, there might be communications with fellow employees and workers might be a little bit more ambiguous and cryptic than usual. You might be making more decisions related to your health using intuitive hunches as opposed to analyzing and rationalizing. You gotta be careful too, because at this time, people that are prominent in your health life, that are in your work life, daily routine, they might be a little bit more deceptive than usual, and you might sadly be a little bit more gullible than usual, given that we're talking about Mercury and Pisces energy, and might be listening maybe to the wrong things, it really, so to speak, at this time, and more easily manipulated. Remember too that Mercury is also about short journeys. It's not just about communication. So this could be a time where you really, you might be more giving and self-sacrificing in terms of maybe giving maybe people you know in your daily routine short journeys, or people that are maybe fellow employees of yours or that figure prominently in your health life even. It might be giving them a little bit more rides and so than usual. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Aries as far as March goes, from the 6th until the 31st. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, this could be about really being more assertive and aggressive in your communications, more outspoken with people that if you have a significant other or maybe with a business partner, even with open adversaries in matters pertaining to legal issues. It could be with open adversaries in a courtroom. It could be somebody, even it could be with attorneys as well that you might be dealing with. You might be surprisingly more outspoken with them than usual at this time. And also this could be about really also a lot more original and pioneering thinking and the ideas perhaps shared with a significant other and with others in general at this time. And really, given that Libra anyway is one that has really a proclivity to bounce ideas off others, it might be done with a lot more of this Aries like spontaneity, and a lot more really done more abruptly at this time, given that we're talking about Mercury and Aries. Mercury, as far as Aries goes in March, will be retro from the 23rd until the 31st. So the speech may still be somewhat outspoken, but it'll be a little bit more review before actually saying things, and it might be a little bit more indirect communication. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Pisces as far as March goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. At this time for Libra, keep in mind you're talking about the 6th house, and that's work and employment. And Venus, and when you're talking about Venus and Pisces energy, this could often be about the enjoyment of lethargy, relaxation, fantasizing, imagination. So you might not really feel as much like actually doing things work related. And if you do, and really there might be an enjoyment of doing things that are maybe more imaginative at work, where you use more imagination in things related to this. You might feel more like relaxing, like with, at your home, and if you have any pets, with them. It could also be a time where, if Libra, if you are unattached and don't have a significant other, you might meet somebody that might be a prospective romantic partner, significant other. That could be a sun, moon, or ascendant in Pisces, or simply somebody that embodies those characteristics. It could be someone prominent in your health or your work life, your daily routine, or it could even be someone that maybe you've been giving service to of some kind, but you really maybe were just more like a platonic, like friends or acquaintances, and maybe something happens where it could evolve into something stronger. So anyway, also be wary of a deceptive charm from people in your daily routine, your work life at this time, and also unrealistic spending, perhaps on health and work related matters. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Aries as far as March goes, from the 6th until the 31st. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, Libra needs to guard against impulsive and impetuous spending, perhaps connected with court issues, maybe legal matters, maybe on a significant other. It could be just for others in general. At the same time, this could be about maybe if Libra's involved in some court situation, that money might become very abruptly and spontaneously from a court-related issue, and especially if this is making good aspects to number of other points in your chart. And say, especially like if you have if this is making, say, positive aspect to your natal Jupiter, for example, that could be something which could be fortuitous for getting money in some kind of situation. Maybe that could be court legal related, or something even connected with a business partnership. I mean, you're going to get money anyway with something business related, but it could be more, considering we're talking about Venus in and the 7th house. So anyway, also I think too, it's also about expressing matters of the heart too, with a lot more courage and fortitude as well. And if Libra is unattached at this time, this could be a very auspicious period, perhaps for meeting somebody that might be a sun, moon, or ascendant in Aries, or simply somebody that embodies those characteristics. And it could be in something connected with the 7th house, such as something with a negotiation, or a place where there's some kind of it might be something court related, or something in some kind of legal scenario or venue, something which might be 7th house related, could be where you might meet this person. So anyway, next thing up is, well, as far as March goes, Mars will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 17th. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. At this time for Libra might show a little bit more outspokenness than usual in their communications, and really they could have a lot more physical and mental activity than usual. There could be perhaps philosophical differences with siblings and neighbors if applicable. And it could also be about really expressing ideas with a lot of energy, and with a lot of that Sagittarius-like enthusiasm and exuberance. And really at this time, their arguments too can be perhaps with siblings and neighbors and somebody in your daily communications. It could be over Sagittarius-like things such as religion, sports. It could even mean just philosophy. So And also the situation with siblings and neighbors in general might be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. And really, and really the arguments can be really with a lot of that Sagittarius veritable like truth. So anyway, next thing up. As far as March goes, Mars will be in Capricorn from the 17th until the 31st. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, there might be the situation with family members and people they might feel close to home with might be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. There might be serious arguments with these people, and it might be arguments also over responsibilities. Could be certain arguments might be connected with that, and it might also be over other Capricorn related issues such as matters with the government and politics. And also this could be about a time where Libra injects a lot of this consistent discipline energy in matters pertaining to one's home, and it might even be matters with traditions as well, and putting a lot of energy maybe into getting in touch with one's roots, and especially if one is not real, has been unsure of this for some time. In some cases, this could be about maybe even being a little angry at oneself, maybe for who they are at the core. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. Now, anyway, the next thing up is Jupiter will still be in Scorpio, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, keep in mind, as I've stated in previous videos, that Jupiter can be paradoxical. It can mean it's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to expand and enlarge. And in some cases, this may expand and enlarge perhaps some surreptitious and even nefarious activity going on with one's finances. It could be somebody, maybe getting really robbed and not and barely know or don't really find out about it right away. It could be matters with possessions as well, where maybe the possessions are, slowly but surely dissipating and disappearing, and they're being taken in very stealth-like manner. Also, too, this could be about also having luck and fortune, perhaps, with making a major transformation or change in one's way of generating income. It could be over with values and maybe matters with self-esteem and self-worth as well. It could mean about Jupiter is the expanding planet once again, and it really could also be about maybe accumulating a lot. I mean, Jupiter, it doesn't do things in small doses. It could be accumulating a lot of Scorpio-like possessions, such connected with astrology, the occult, supernatural, magic, alchemy, just things that could be Scorpio related. So anyway, and keep in mind too that it's going to be in retro from, as far as March goes, from the 8th until the 31st. So at this time, Libra might be doing some reviewing over Scorpio-like things, maybe that as far as maybe making money via Scorpio-like things such as astrology, occult, supernatural, that maybe they might be reviewing as far as their enthusiasm for that at this time. So anyway, and maybe their philosophy over Scorpio like things at this particular time as well, or I should say review maybe over maybe making a major change, reviewing maybe making a major change, or reviewing philosophy over making a major change or transformation, which may impact their self-esteem and self-worth. There might be more review connected with this at this time. So anyway, next thing up is Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. At this time for Libra, this could be really about Libra dealing with more restrictions and limitations. It might be matters connected with the home, and it might cause this really Capricorn-like despondency and make Libra feel melancholy as well. It could be over maybe trying to make a partition or some kind of variance or extension on the home. And it could just really, in some cases, this could also be about taking care of a debilitated family member or someone Libra feels close to home with. And it might be something that might be Capricorn related, such as something with the knees or the bones. So anyway, and also too, this could be a period where Libra might be really looking at a lot of serious responsibility into home related matters, maybe getting in touch with who they are at the core. It could be matters connected with traditions as well, and things associated with one's foundations. So at the same time, there might be, I mean, going back to the limitations and restrictions in the home life, and really, and it might be really with matters with family as well at this time, where things might feel a little bit more restricting and limiting for Libra than usual. Next thing up is, well, Uranus will still be in Aries, so the 7th house as well will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. At this time for Libra, this could be about perhaps dealing with unusual, bizarre, unorthodox, and eccentric open adversaries. This could be where maybe documents might come up very spontaneously and like really in a flash, so to speak. Also, keep in mind that you might have a significant other or a business partner, perhaps, that might be experiencing some ingenious qualities, but it might also they might be acting a little bit different or a little bit more bizarre than usual at this time, or you might be seeing more unusual behavior connected with them. This could be a lot of fluctuations and ups and downs right now, as well as dealings with others in general, or others might be constantly filtering in and out of your life at this time unpredictably. I mean, Uranus energy, of course, could be very unstable and unpredictable. So anyway, and the thing too is you might even, if Libra, you're unattached at this time, it might be where you might marry somebody that might be a foreigner. It could be somebody that might be an innovator, somebody that is involved with computers, strongly electronic profession, or even in an esoteric subject such as astrology. So anyway, next thing up is Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. At this time for Libra, Libra might be dealing with more distractions and diversions in their daily routine and in their work life at this time. It might be also about dealing with maybe some kind of unclear or nebulous health-related issue at this time, one that's very confounding and confusing. It could be something that could be chemical or drug related. It could be some cases the accidental assimilation of a drug such as radon at this time as well. So anyway, in some cases, this could also be about the dissipation or dissolving of one's health at this time. And really, I mean, and also it's important to look at the aspects, of course, that this making to natal points in your chart. Say if that Neptune is making an adverse aspect to your natal Mars, then it could really be depleting the energy as well at this time, and it's really more about feeling much more like relaxing and vegetating rather than actually doing anything laborious or doing any kind of work. So anyway, also too, it could be also dealing with deceptive and duplicitous people in your work life, in your daily routine, or maybe even people that are prominent in your maybe in your health life as well. So anyway, next thing up is Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the 4th house as well be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, this could be, I mean, a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but of course I'm going to do it anyway because I generally will do matters connected with Pluto, and this could be about the death of a family member, and it could mean perhaps often be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. In some cases, this could really be about very strong obliteration and destruction of one's home and family life. In some cases, it could be something destructive happens to the home, such as a natural disaster like a tornado hitting it at this time, and also about obliterating maybe one's traditions at this time and maybe supplanting it with something else. Remember that Pluto is about death, and whether it's literal or figurative, but it's also about rebirth and regeneration. So when something can leave and be eliminated with Pluto energy, it could often be supplanted and replaced. Also at this time, this could be as well about really power struggles as far as people in terms in your family life, and maybe with someone you may be close to home with, so to speak. Remember that, keep in mind that Pluto does rule terrorism as well, so it's important to remember that you don't, I mean, if you're trying to actually, it could be in some isolated situations, if you're, it could be fear of going back home, maybe due to terrorism, maybe related things in your home area, say if you are in a foreign country. So those are some things to look at as far as that goes. Now, next thing up is North Node. Will be in Leo still, so the 11th house will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, keep in mind that the North Node is often, when it's in transit, about issues we have to confront and address. So it could be about confronting and addressing perhaps a friend that might be rather arrogant, domineering, overbearing, bombastic. It could be a time too where you may it might be where you have to be more generous and magnanimous in matters connected with friends and acquaintances, and maybe somewhat extravagant, maybe spending more than you usually would in matters connected with your goals and your aspirations at this time. It could be too, I mean, the 11th house is about our future, so this could be a thing too, and the North Node is where we want to be, where we're trying to be directed in that direction. So this could be about maybe doing something in the future as far as being more gregarious, or doing something Leo related, such as something with entertainment, such as acting, being an actor, actress, or something else associated with entertainment. Something creative. It could be doing some work with children. So anyway, and also at this time as well, it could also be about tackling your future and goals and aspirations with a lot of that Leo-like courage and fortitude, and that self-assuredness and confidence. Next thing up, the Black Moon Lilith is still in Capricorn, so the 4th house will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Libra might be dealing with somebody maybe close to home that might be exhibiting rather strong erotic sexual energy in a way to help attain ambitions. This could also be about the revelation or unveiling, perhaps, of someone Libra's close to home with, or even a family member that might be showing very strong tyrannical, ruthless, and even over-ambitious qualities at this time. And something too, I mean, the Black Moon Lilith could also be about a formidable adversary that comes out, and it could be somebody prominent in one's home life, or somebody tied into one's roots, or it may be someone they feel close to home with, and sometimes it could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply somebody that embodies those characteristics. It could also be about really a revelation or unveiling that Libra doesn't want out of the bag, but the cat kind of comes out of the bag, so to speak, regarding maybe a depressing home life, and maybe a home life that's rather limiting and restricting. So anyway, next thing up is, last but not least, Chiron will be in Pisces still, so the 6 houses will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, this could be about dealing with really some emotional suffering and wounds connected with maybe deception and duplicity, perhaps with employees that they may be dealing with. In some cases, this could be about a health-related issue Libra is dealing with, connected with something Pisces-like, such as drugs or alcohol, or even something with the feet, the toes, or the lymphatic system. It might even be matters with being overly passive in work-related matters, and even matters related to one's health at this time. It could be with dealing with the dissipation or dissolving or of one's employment ability to work even, or maybe even in just one's health in general at this time. And also in some cases it could be a situation where maybe a pet had been victimized, and really and there's really a lot of emotional suffering because of it at this time. But keep in mind too that Chiron is the wounded healer. So in the areas where Libra might be suffering and going through some emotional suffering in connection with the Chiron in Pisces and sixth house, they could help others dealing with comparable issues with that Pisces, like self-sacrificing energy, compassion, and altruism. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Libra March 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Scorpio March 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.